welcome LC Debapriya with speech title Chains. I repeat, Debapriya with speech title Chains.
Am I audible?
Yes.
You and I came to this world as free birds. But little did we realize then that we are born free, but bound everywhere by invisible chains. Good evening, overall evaluator and my fellow Likams. When I was in school, I vividly recall struggling to speak. Each word took me 2 to 3 seconds to utter because I was a stammerer from birth. My anxiety and nervousness only aggravated the situation. But despite this challenge, I harbored a steadfast dream, a dream of becoming a public speaker. And to make this dream come true in my life, I took that leap of faith. I pushed myself to participate in an extempo competition in my school. I was asked to speak on the topic mother, and I spoke everything. In my mind, I stood perplexed on the dais that day, and just after 30 seconds, I uttered a single word. Ma. The audience laughed at me. I felt for a moment I was a clown there. I got disqualified, and there I was, bound in my invisible chains. That night, as I rested my head on the pillow, echoes of laughter of my failure rang in my ears. And I took a decision that night to visit a speech therapist. My speech therapist gave me a series of vocal exercises, one among which I remember even to this day. I had to practice saying, "Meh, meh," like a bleating goat. I sounded like a farm animal on steroid. But yes, my friends, with consistent practice, I did notice a slight change, a slight improvement in me. And years passed. It was time for me to participate in a poetry competition. I went ahead. But even with my newfound fluency, doubts clouded my mind. I questioned myself again. What if I stammer? What if the audience again laughs at me? But I stood my ground, completed my recital, and I did not stammer much. But out of sheer pressure and nervousness, I forgot few lines in between. Those lines, my friend, which I had rehearsed every day, simply vanished. I stood there frozen. And the audience again laughed at me. I felt trapped, helpless. I was back in my invisible chains again. Feeling frustrated, the next morning I just ran to my speech therapist and said, "Life knocked me down." He disagreed, my friends. He disagreed and said, "It's not life. It's my chains of invisible negative thoughts that are actually pulling me down." I accepted his words that day without even questioning it. It was time for my final year in school, and I thought, this is my last chance. If I don't do, I will fail. I went ahead and nominated myself for a prose competition. I trusted the word of the therapist and I trusted my own self. The day finally arrived. I could hear someone telling, "Our next contestant is Debapriya Mukherjee representing the Blue House." As soon as I heard this, I went up on the podium with my hands trembling, my heart palpitating. I stood behind the microphone, closed my eyes, and just took a deep breath and just said to myself, "You have got this, Debapriya." I completed my recital and I thought I just failed again, and the audience there was loudly applauding for me. I looked at the proud faces of my teachers, my parents. I, Debapriya Mukherjee, finally had broken free from all my invisible chains. Ladies and gentlemen, that day, that moment, I realized a truth of life. We are trapped in our mind cage, where our negative thoughts are the invisible chains that bind us. So next time, when any negative thoughts try to engulf you, break those chains, those invisible chains of negative thoughts. Trust yourself, believe in yourself, and just set yourself free. Just like I shattered my chains that day and fulfilled my dream of becoming a public speaker. So, of negative thoughts have you all broken recently? The host of the day.